Good morning, everybody. I sure hope everybody is ready for graduation. We're excited. I can't wait to see you on Monday. I just wanted to tell you good morning and tell you how excited we are to be able to do this for you guys. You deserve this. But like I said, let's everybody get ready and please pay attention to this presentation so we can have a great ceremony that really uplifts you and recognizes you in the way you deserve to be recognized. Guys, like I said, we're excited. I can't wait till Monday morning to see you guys out there in a wave of green. We look forward to that day. So, guys, I'm going to turn it over to the people to help you run this program so I can go get ready for graduation. Thank you, guys.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's Miss Sealander. So we are here for our 9 o'clock virtual graduation practice for the class of 2020. Like Mr. Farrell said, we're just really excited for you. We're excited that we're able to have a program for you, a real graduation, a little bit different than what we've been doing the last few years, but it is still a real graduation, and we're very excited about that. So we do want to make sure that you know what to expect, so you know what it's going to be like there, especially if you've been to graduation in the last few years. We're doing things a little bit differently in some areas, and then other areas it's going to be just like business as usual. So it's going to be really important for you to pay attention so you know what to do when you get to the stadium, what you need to do there, what you need to be ready so that you can rock and roll and get yourself graduated. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you, just a reminder for our program here right now, we do have the Q&A turned off right now, but Ms. Neal will turn that back on as I get kind of closer to the end of the presentation, so that if you have questions that I haven't answered yet, then you can go ahead and ask those in our Q&A online here. I also will put a video of this online through our Wave TV YouTube probably, and our website, and link that out to social media. So if you want to watch this again later, or if your folks want to watch it, then you'll have the opportunity to do that again. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing I just want to remind everybody is that graduation officially is on next Monday on June 8th at 7:30 a.m. That is going to be at our football stadium in town across the street from Span Elementary. I also want to recognize right off the bat your top 2 students in the whole class of 2020. Bethany Baggett is going to be your valedictorian, and Cameron Fox is your salutatorian. So congratulations to both of them. They have earned speaking spots up there on the stage for part of your graduation ceremony. We also will have Nadia Rogers up there speaking as well as your senior class president. So congratulations to Cameron and Bethany. We're very proud of you and all of the hard work that it took for you to get into this top spot of such an amazing group of students. So thank you very much. So let's go ahead and get started about what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is senior packet pickup. I will tell you that in normal years, the packet pickup is combined with graduation practice as one event. Because we're doing the grad practice virtually, we are separating that, from a different day from the senior packet pickup. So this is something that is mandatory. You've got to come and get this tomorrow if you're going to be participating in graduation. This is your one shot to get it, but you do have all day. We'll be at the bus loop from 8 in the morning until 5 o'clock. If you know you personally cannot come, or your parents cannot come and get this for you, and you need a friend to get it, I'm going to need you to contact me right away via email and give me permission to give something, to someone else to pick it up if you are unable to. But from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I really feel like most everybody's going to have an opportunity to come pick this up themselves. I really don't want to have to give these out to anybody else unless it's an absolute emergency. So let's talk about what's in your senior packet. The most important thing that I think you and your family are going to be concerned about are the tickets to the ceremony itself. As you know, you guys get 2 tickets to the ceremony. This is because of the space that we have, the large size of the class that we have. In order for us to be separated for social distance, for those guidelines, we're limiting tickets to 2 people. That is the case for all of our Dorchester 2 schools. I do want to stress to you, don't lose these tickets. It's going to be like Willy Wonka and the golden ticket. If you lose it, it is gone. You're not getting more. So please make sure you keep up with them. Your guests have to bring them with them to graduation. They will not be able to get into the stadium without a ticket. Okay, so what else is in your senior packet? You're going to have cords and medals, which I like to call the bling. You'll have a final report card and an unofficial transcript. You'll have free face masks for you and 2 of your guests. These are just kind of plain black face masks. If you have another one that you've been wearing at home or out shopping and you want to wear that instead, you certainly can. You don't have to wear the one that we're giving you, but we are providing them for everybody. Nobody can get into the stadium without the face mask. So if somebody gets to, the gate, or your family gets to the gate and they don't have a face mask, they're not going to be able to come in, and we're not going to have extras. So let's make sure we follow this procedure. I do want to make sure that you know where you're going when you get there. So I will have a paper in there that tells you what is your row number and your seat assignment and who your line leaders are. So when you get to the stadium, you're going to go right in and sit down on your row at your seat. And you need to know where to go so we don't have to stop and look up a roster of 700 people and tell them where to go. So you'll have that in your packet as well. One thing I'm really, really, really excited about, and I worked hard to make sure you got this, is the graduation program itself. We had a special early shipment done just for you guys so I could put a graduation program in your packet. This is really for you to help to give to maybe somebody that you really wish was there at the ceremony with you and can't come because we only have 2 tickets. And maybe somebody's going to be watching it on the live stream and you want to have them look along with the program, from home, and you can share that with somebody else. You will get another program at the ceremony. Your 2 guests will also get a program at the ceremony. So if you want to use this one to give to another family member who can't attend, you certainly can do that. So I do hope you appreciate that. We worked hard to make that happen. Okay, moving along, we'll talk about obligations. In order for you to get your senior packet tomorrow, you do have to make sure all of your obligations are clear. I will say this class has done an amazing job of clearing obligations so far, probably the best I have ever seen. We only have a few kids that still have textbooks out, a few students who have payments that are left over, our TC uniform stuff, maybe a balance from last year, maybe a phone fine, something like that. So we'll have those folks set up to take payments and to take textbooks tomorrow when you have your packet pickup. So you can take care of that and then still get your packet. We also have a selfie spot. Y'all can thank Miss Miller. She arranged to have an awesome balloon place selfie spot, and we're going to put that in front of the school. So after you go through the bus loop, then we'll have a traffic pattern to go through the band parking lot, and then in front of the school, if you want to pop out of your car and come take a selfie with your friends. The only thing here is just make sure it's 1 car at a time. So whoever you ride to packet pickup with is who you're allowed to do the selfie with. So just keep that in mind. And then if you want to post your selfies on the Instagram with the Green Wave 2020, that would be awesome. Okay, so let's talk about what to wear. This is really important because this is a major event. This is a ceremony. This is not a NASCAR event. So we do have you guys dress up for this event. So what I need you to wear, number 1, is your green cap and gown and tassel that you got from Jostin. If you're an early college student, you are allowed to wear your black cap that you got through Trident. So as you guys are sitting out there in, at graduation and you see a student with a black cap, it's because they completed the early college program and they actually have their associate degree from Trident already, which is awesome. I do want to stress that you cannot alter your cap and gown in any way. We do not decorate caps at our school. If you show up and you have a cap that's decorated, you'll have to purchase a new cap from Jostin. So please don't do that. Your gown may need a light iron. If it's still wrapped up in the plastic it came with, let's go ahead and get that out, hang it up, maybe hang it up in the shower. That steam from the shower will probably go ahead and drop those wrinkles out. But if you do need to iron it, just do it on a very, very low temperature so that you don't burn the fabric. It is easy to burn like that. So girls, what do you need to wear? A skirt, a dress is fine. A color doesn't matter. It does not have to be a white dress. If you can wear dress pants with a blouse, that's fine as well, and dress shoes. I am stressing here no spike heels. So think about what is it going to be like to walk on the grass in your shoes. You want to be comfortable. You do not want to have to be struggling to walk on an uneven surface. So I would stay away from heels in general. That's my advice to you. But if you do wear heels, I definitely would not wear spike heels. It's going to be very awkward for you to walk all the way up to the stage, across the stage, down the ramp, and back to your seat if you have on those kinds of heels. You can wear sandals, like dressy sandals, that sort of thing, or flats. Those are going to be perfect. Guys, we've got a little bit of a change for you this year from normal years. Usually we have our guys wear a dress shirt and a tie. This year we are relaxing that a little bit and allowing you to wear a polo type shirt. It does, polo type shirt does have a collar, it does have buttons, but it's not as formal as a regular, dress shirt and tie. So you do have a choice there. We want you to wear dress pants and dress shoes. So no t-shirts underneath your thing. I mean, if you got a t-shirt underneath your dress shirt, that's fine, but we're looking for a shirt with a collar, essentially. Okay, so what not to wear? These are things that if you show up with this and then you can't get your outfit fixed with who maybe you came with, or if we don't have an extra thing for you to wear, then you're not going to be able to walk. And I would definitely not want that to happen to any of our kids. So dress correctly so that we don't have to worry about that. So no flip-flops, no sneakers, no jeans, no shorts, no t-shirts. Again, if you're worried that you don't have the right outfit for graduation and you need help with that, we got you. We just need to know about it. So if you know that you need some assistance getting the correct outfit for graduation, reach out to your administrator, one of your teachers, or your counselor. We just need to know, and then we can help you out. So I don't want that to be a roadblock for anybody coming to graduation and participating, for not having the, the appropriate clothes for the ceremony. So reach out if you do need help with that. All right, so when we talk about bling, what does that mean? So the bling is things that are given to you from the school, okay, from the school. So if you have some kind of award or medal from Boy Scouts or something else, that is not going to be appropriate to wear at our graduation. So we're talking about academic award medals, any cords that you get from our school or from the Vogue School, a collar if you're in the National Honor Society. If you got a medal for Diploma of Distinction or Distinguished Honor Graduate, those things are fine to wear. If you do come and you're wearing other things that are not appropriate, we will ask you to remove them, and then you can have them back after the ceremony. So here's some pictures and descriptions of what are we talking about with the bling. So the cords are given to you if you have if you've completed a course of study in one of the career clusters, like if you're a CATE completer, for example, and those will come from your guidance counselors. Career readiness cords will also come from them. That's if you took the ready to work test and you got like a gold or a silver or a bronze on that, you'll have a cord for that as well. Additionally, if certain clubs or honor societies will give you a cord. But if you're not sure, like, what does the cord mean, what's it for, then reach out to your counselor, or if you have a club sponsor or a teacher that might have given you that cord, then you can reach out to them just to find out a little bit. Also, students who have signed with the military will get a red, white, and blue cord to go in there. That's really awesome. So let's talk about some of the other things. When I talk about honor grad and distinguished honor grad, what does that mean? So the honor grads is based on your final GPA, just a straight up GPA. So if your GPA is 4.0 to 4.36, and we're not rounding here, then you'll have a bronze honor grad medal. And then if you have a 4.37 or above, you'll have a bright gold, it's kind of a shiny gold medal. That's the honor grad medal, okay? A Diploma of Distinction is a little bit of a different medal, and this is something that you would have applied for with your counselor a while ago. It's a lot of qualifications to get there, but it is a pretty cool distinction. I think it also comes with a different diploma or different certification certificate that goes with it. All right, the academic awards are things that we do usually in the fall, but for seniors we'll do it in the spring. Like if we had our senior awards night, we would have recognized you guys then. But we have a lot of people that qualified for this, especially this year, a lot of people with their first academic award, which is awesome. But if you get an academic award, these are what the medals look like. So if you got one all 4 years, then you will, in your packet, be getting a shiny gold one. So if it's your first award, you'll get a bronze one. Second award is silver. Third award is matte gold. And fourth award is shiny gold. So those will be in your packets along with the Distinguished Honor Grad. Those other medals, if you earn them this year, they will be in your packet that you get tomorrow. All right, let's talk about arriving to the stadium on graduation day, which is less than 1 week away. So here's our diagram of the stadium. All of this grid row right here in the middle, this is kind of how your chairs are going to be spaced out. We literally are making a grid on the football field to space out the chairs. So for the social distancing, every seat will be 6 feet apart from its neighbor, and then the rows will be 6 feet back from the previous row. So we're going to fill up pretty much the whole football field with your rows. You'll have 31 rows just for students. The teachers that are not line leaders will be sitting in rows kind of behind you guys, and that's where they'll be. Where I want you guys to come in, the student entrance is over here. Okay, this is, if you've been to the stadium before, this is kind of the visitor gate. These are the visitor stands over here. But this is the gate that's right underneath the scoreboard. So here's the scoreboard right above the word green. Across the street here, under my Mr. Hudson's son, we have the Span Elementary. And this street over here is South Magnolia. Now, there's not going to be parking right here. You want to avoid the directly in front of the stadium, because this area might be blocked off after the ceremony. But you can park over here. You can park over here. We'll talk a little bit more about parking in just a second. But when you come in here, you are going to come in and guess what? Go straight to your seat. Okay, we are not processing in this year. So when you come in, you know what row you're going to sit on. Go to your row and find your seat. Every seat will have a name on it. You cannot move the name cards. You have to stay in order. And I'm going to explain why in a little bit to help you understand that. When your guests come in, they can come in from over on this side of the stadium, like behind the main stands. And I'll have diagrams on that in a little bit. But what you guys need to know is that when it's time for your row to get up and go get your diploma, you're going to stand up and come over here to the sidelines. There's going to be little hash marks in the grass so that you're going to stay 6 feet apart as you wait to walk up. You'll come up here, walk up the ramp, go across the stage, get your diploma, pause for a picture, come off the stage, and then come back over here and then go back into your row. We'll have more details on that later. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what the stadium is going to look like and where you have to come in. So if you arrive with your parents and you park somewhere else and your parents are going to go in a gate here, you have to walk around and come in the student gate here. If you roll up on this gate, they're going to say, walk around to the other gate. Okay, so all students only are going to come in this gate over here, right across from Span. Okay. So for parking, again, think about if you go to any game, where do you park for that? It's really kind of open for you. We don't have assigned parking. It's not like we're a school with assigned lots at our stadium. So I would encourage you, number one, to be carpooling with your family and friends and just to cut down on the number of cars that are here. There's a grass lot behind the stadium. There's parking spaces behind Span Elementary over at Somerville Elementary. There's parking on the streets nearby. But you didn't make sure that you leave early. Expect that there's going to be traffic and people kind of looking to see where's the best place to park. And you might find it's going to be easier to park 2 blocks away and just walk up. That'll be faster than try to drive around and find something closer. I do want you to make sure, too, that you know that the old Rawlings is being converted into the new district office. So that's a construction site. The old Rawlings parking lot and that gate that's over there will be 100% closed. No foot traffic and no cars can be parking there. Make sure you remember that and then pass that on. All right, handicap parking is very limited this year. The handicap parking typically is over in that Rawlings parking lot I just mentioned, and that's closed. The seating is not available because that seating is normally over there by the student section, and that's going to be behind the stage. And if we sit people there, they're not going to be able to see. So we have very limited space for handicap parking and seating. If your guest, one of your 2 guests, needs to have that handicap parking and seating, I need you to respond on the form on Teams right away if you're going to need that, because we're going to have placards to give out tomorrow at graduation practice. But here's the problem. I want you guys to really have an honest conversation at your house about, is the handicap parking needed? Is that special seating needed? Because if we end up having a limited number of space and we can only accommodate a certain number, we don't want someone who has a severe medical condition to be left out and have to struggle because someone else is abusing a handicap placard. So please have that conversation at home. I don't want people using a handicap thing just so they can park closer and make it easier for themselves if they don't really have a need. So in order for you to get a handicap placard to park there, you have to already have your own personal placard and displayed in your vehicle and the SHS placard in order to access the handicap parking and seating. Right now, we're still working on where that's going to be. So we'll have instructions for that when you get those placards tomorrow. But respond on that form right away if that's a need for you. But again, it really must be a legitimate, serious need. We don't want to waste those precious spaces for the people that really, really need them. If you did reply in the form that you did need a handicap spot, and now after conversation you don't think that you need one or that person's not coming anymore, just send me an email or resubmit a form saying that you don't actually need one, and that'll be fine. Okay, so as far as when to get here, the gates will open at 6 o'clock in the morning. You do not have to be here at 6 o'clock in the morning. That was a little rumor that was going around, and that is not true. I do need you in your assigned seat at 7 a.m. Okay, the ceremony starts at 7:30, and we cannot be hunting people to be in their seats. So you need to be in your seat by 7. We are going to try to have the senior slideshow and then a special parent slideshow playing before the ceremony begins. So you will have that to watch if we can get that to work there over by the scoreboard. So again, you are entering over there by the visitor gate. You have to have your mask. You have to have that on to get in the gate. Students do not need tickets. Those tickets are just for your guests. Jostens will be there for any last minute purchases if you've lost your tassel or something like that. But definitely leave any phones, purses, keys. If your parents are with you, give them all that stuff to hold so that we don't have to collect it. We don't need to be sharing any more germs than we need to. But if you do happen to have any phones or keys with you, your line leader will collect those things and then you'll get them back at the end. But you can't have them during the ceremony. You have to give them up to your line leader. And this is something we do every year. All right, so again, as I told you, we're not processing into the stadium. You're going to just go in and go to your seat. Do not move your seats or name tags. What's going to happen is that if you move seats or you move name tags and you get out of order, when you walk up to the stage and I call your name and you're not ready to go, then that's going to be a problem. And then what's going to happen? You're going to stand there and then I've already called your name and then you can't go because you got out of order. So it's 100% very, very, very important that you stay where you're supposed to stay in the right line, stay in the right seat, so that everything goes smoothly when you get up there to the stage. We cannot walk around and visit and gather. I'm sorry, I wish we could, but we cannot do that. So when you get there, go to your seat and you have to stay there. If you're late, if you roll up in there and we're ready to start, and you will not be allowed to come up and join your row, you'll just be seated at a different area. And then as your row gets up to move up to go to the stage, then we're going to work you into your row, and then you can sit in your row for the last half of the ceremony. But avoid this, be on time, okay? In your seats at 7 a.m. So what do the rows look like? We're going to have 22 students on each row because we are all super spread out. You'll be in alphabetical order in rows divided by your academic achievement level. So the first few rows are going to be those distinguished honor graduates, the ones that have the 4.37 and above. Then we'll have the honor graduates and then all other graduates. So in your packet tomorrow, remember, you are going to have a paper that says what is your seat number, what is your row number. So when you get there tomorrow, I want you to know your row in your mind already. Like I said, we don't have time to flip through a paper roster and tell you what row you're on when we've got 680 people there. So show up early. Let's make it easy for everybody. All right, so what's it going to be like during the ceremony? All right, during the ceremony, it's going to be really, really awesome. Number one, you know, we wanted to work hard to make sure that you guys had a real in-person live ceremony this year. A lot of schools are not doing that. They're doing a virtual thing. So we're really excited that we can do this for you. And I know that you guys appreciate that and that we're in that together. So the ceremony itself will have some short speeches. I mentioned earlier, we'll have Nadia and Bethany and Cameron will be up. They'll be giving some speeches as well. Mr. Farrell will give a speech. There's a portion where Mr. Pye will do a certification of the graduates. But then really it's just you guys, you know, bulk of the time is you guys walking across the stage to get your diploma cover. The junior marshals will be there to indicate when your row will stand up and then move toward the stage. The junior marshals, FYI, are the top 12 kids in the junior class as far as their GPA goes. So these are the students that are the top ones in the junior class, and they're there representing the juniors, you know, in their excitement and celebration for you. Again, stay in line order. Do not get out of order. I'm telling you, this happened last year when students got out of order, and then he had to stand along the edge for a few extra minutes until we could figure out how to get his name called back again. And it was not, it was not the best situation. So we want to avoid that. Make sure you stay in line. Now, there's no steps going up to and from the stage. It's actually a ramp, a 20-foot ramp on either side. So be thinking about that when you're choosing your shoes. This is another reason, let's avoid the high heels. Okay, the mask that you have, you can lower your mask to walk across the stage. We're not shaking hands this year, but you will take your diploma cover from Mr. Farrell. You do want to have kind of a little pause when you do that. Templeston will be there taking pictures. If you haven't ordered pictures online for Templeston for graduation and you want to, I will repost that link on our social media and website just to make sure you have an opportunity to do that if you want it. It's not mandatory. But after you get your diploma cover, you'll come back off the stage, return to your row, stand until everyone in your row is back, and then you sit back down. At the end of the ceremony, you'll do the whole kind of move your tassel from left to right. Bethany will be the one, I think, doing that and tell you when to do that, and then we'll sing the Alma Mater. One thing that's really, really awesome, and it gets everybody every single time, is the Alma Mater, y'all. That we're the only school in this whole area that our kids know what their alma mater is, and it means a lot to them. So Mr. Gilreath made a really nice arrangement, and we'll play that on the speakers, and we'll sing the alma mater, and after that we'll start the recession. I would caution you against throwing your cap, because guess what? You're not going to be able to get it back. You can't break ranks and go searching among rows, right up next to people looking for a cap. So don't throw it, because number one, it's going to probably hit somebody. But number two, you're not going to be able to get it back. So don't do that. For the recessional, the line leaders will give you back while your row is waiting to go. The line leaders will give you back any of your personal items, and they will also give you your diploma. Now, some of you have very similar names to the neighbor next to you. You have to tell your line leader your full name so they make sure to give you the correct diploma. Don't turn your envelope upside down because it might fall out. Now, if you do have any inappropriate behavior going on during the ceremony, that we will hold your diploma and you will not be able to get it at graduation. You'll be, out the door, and you'll have to come back another time and get that. So make sure that your behavior is appropriate for the occasion, so we don't have to do that. But you'll just stay in line during the recessional. Your line leader will walk with you all the way toward the exit, and you guys will go out the same gate that you came in. So be thinking about where you want to meet your parents afterward. Have that arranged ahead of time so you're not fumbling around on a phone trying to figure out where to meet them. Once the students are out of the stadium, then we will start dismissing the guests by sections. Okay, so we don't need every guest to stand up and try to leave at the same time, or we'll have a huge bottleneck. So we'll release them in chunks from the stands, and then they can go out and to meet you guys. One thing to remember is that graduation is a privilege. It is not a requirement. This is something that we do for you because we love you. We want to help celebrate your achievements, but this is not something that we have to do. It's not something you have to attend. So just make sure that you are cooperating with the guidelines that we have with the social distancing stuff. Make sure you're respectful during the ceremony. You're listening to the speakers, not shouting out and all of that stuff, and just use your appropriate behavior. You guys are going to be awesome. I know you are, and this is just going to be a really special time for you. So some of our main kind of wrapping up points before we move on to what your guests are going to do. I make sure that y'all are on time and dressed correctly, in your seat by 7. Give your phones and keys to a line leader if you haven't given them to your parents already. Know your row. Be respectful and well behaved, and then stay in line until you are out of the gate. So let's talk about guest procedures. Okay, so your guests, as I told you earlier, are going to enter through the main gate behind the home side, and there's a gate over near the Rawlings Gym. That's actually sort of a cut through to the Somerville Elementary parking lot. I'll show you a map in just a minute. All guests have to have a ticket to enter. This includes children, okay? This includes children. So any human body has to have a ticket. We are not allowing bags, purses, umbrellas, air horns, signs. None of that stuff is going to come in. Remember, y'all are not going to be there for a long period of time. The ceremony starts at 7:30. It's not going to last more than an hour and a half. This is not a long period of time to go without a bunch of other things. All guests do have to wear a face mask. They've got to have that. They got to have the ticket to even get in the gate. And we will not have extras to provide those at the door. We will have restrooms available, but they are going to be limited due to the COVID-19 guidelines, and we will have custodians on hand to be, cleaning and everything throughout that time period. Other procedures for guests is that they will be sitting in pairs in designated areas marked with social distance. So we're going to have special places marked in the stands to show people where they're allowed to park. To show them where they're allowed to sit, and they can only sit in those spots. I would ask that you kind of work with your guests to avoid excessive celebration. The problem with that is not that we don't want to celebrate you. The problem is that if your guests celebrate too much, then the family of the person next to you is not going to hear their name. And nobody deserves that. So please just have some conversation about that at home. The guests will be dismissed after the students leave, and then you guys can head out, meet up with your folks, and then, be on your way. Y'all got the whole day to finish celebrating. Guests who do not follow these required guidelines may be asked to leave the stadium, and we certainly would hate to have to do that to anybody on this special day. So y'all definitely have those conversations at home with your family about what we need everybody to be doing so that everybody can have an enjoyable experience. So here's another map. I put a couple of entry places on here. This is just the stars to represent where guests will be coming in. Notice there's no star over here. Guests are not coming in this gate where students are. That's students only. So guests can come in the big gate behind the stadium, and then this gate over here that kind of leads to that Rawlings Park, that Somerville Elementary parking lot. Let me show you another view. Okay, so this is our Google Earth view. There's a gate right here where the band usually marches in, okay, over by that locker room. That's the gate that's going to be open. There's a little footpath that goes over here to the Somerville Elementary loop, this little parking loop. So if somebody wants to park over here in this area, they can kind of cut through this footpath and come in this gate right here. But again, we're going to have people stationed in these areas checking to see, do you have a ticket? Do you have a face mask? So you should not even get close to the gate if you do not have a ticket and you do not have a face mask. So please make sure y'all are talking about that at home. Okay, one thing I didn't mention earlier is that we will have an interpreter for American Sign Language that will be there for people who are, who are hearing impaired and need that. The district provides that person. And again, about the handicap spot, I just want to make sure everybody has a full understanding. We need that information today if someone needs that assistance with the handicap parking. But again, really just stressing on everybody's, pulling on your heartstrings of humanity. We only want people using this if there is a serious need for it. It is not just a matter of convenience, a serious need. So please help us out with that. And we'll get those ready for people to give out tomorrow during our packet pickup. Okay, the live stream has been worked out. We've been sending out the link already on our social media and on our website. Make sure you're sharing this link with any of your friends and family who are not going to be able to attend so that they can watch that online. And really lastly, just to tell you guys how proud we are of you. We know that this has been a really, really difficult spring with the whole COVID-19 and the school closure, but you all have really just handled it so well. You've worked so hard to overcome these obstacles and to get to the point where we can graduate and to do all of that. I know you're facing some uncertainty after graduation and for next year, but whatever it is that that life throws at you, I think you're going to do just great with that. And you've been proving that already since March. So we appreciate that, and we love you, and we're so proud of you, and we can't wait to celebrate graduation with you.